So take a look at this. This is the brand new state-of-the-art Gordie Howe International Bridge. And yeah, it's completely empty. But what you're looking at isn't some construction delay. Oh no. This is a high-stakes geopolitical standoff. And the response? Well, it involves a very, very different kind of power play.
And the price tag for this incredible piece of engineering? A cool $6.4 billion. We're talking about North America's newest, largest bridge. And get this, it was paid for 100% by Canada.
But right now, for all that money, it's basically a monument to gridlock. I mean, it's finished, it's ready to go, but the bridge stands silent. The gates are locked. It's being held hostage by this really fierce political and trade dispute. A masterpiece of engineering just sitting there, turned into a playground for ghosts.
And that brings us to a really, really crucial question. When you're a middle power and you're up against a superpower and all the usual diplomatic channels just aren't working, what do you do? I mean, really, how do you fight back?
The answer, and I love this, is completely unexpected. You don't send in the diplomats in suits. No. You send in the kids. You play hockey.
All right, let's break down what's actually going on here. The U.S. administration, and you've got to know they're being heavily influenced by the billionaire owners of the old Ambassador Bridge right next door, is essentially trying to muscle in. They're demanding 50% ownership of a bridge they didn't spend a dime on.
So Canada's response isn't to just be polite and hope for the best. No, it's to adopt what's being called Davos-style diplomacy. Just think about the World Economic Forum. It's all about hard-nosed economic realism. This isn't about being nice anymore. It's about being sharp, being assertive, and frankly using every single tool in the toolbox to protect our national interest.
So what does this new playbook actually look like? Well, it's not a protest march. It's the Gordie Howe Global Invitational, a youth hockey tournament happening right there at the gates of the bridge. It's an incredibly strategic move, designed to look as innocent and Canadian as a Saturday morning at the local rink.
But let's be clear. This is so much more than just a game. It's a really carefully constructed national strategy. It's built on 3 key pillars, all designed to create this powerful, united front.
So here's the 3-part strategy. First, you ground the whole thing in moral authority by getting the indigenous nations, the original stewards of the land the bridge is on, to lead it. Second, you wrap it in a patriotic shield with some of Canada's most iconic brands. And third, you give it real political muscle, with a premier who's ready to rally massive support. And by having the Three Fires Confederacy lead, the entire event just gets completely reframed. It's no longer a simple trade dispute between 2 governments. Suddenly, it becomes a treaty issue. It's about indigenous sovereignty. And let me tell you, that is a game the U.S. does not want to play.
Okay, so with the home front totally secured, the strategy goes global. The hockey tournament isn't just about Canada anymore. It becomes this big test of international solidarity, turning a pretty local dispute into a major global challenge.
And the invitations are just brilliant, so strategic. You bring in France to talk about sovereignty. You bring in Japan, a key Pacific partner, to talk about securing trade gateways. You bring in Ukraine for the undeniable moral high ground. Every single jersey on that ice represents an ally, another country pushing back against that American vault mentality.
And then there's the boldest move of them all, the China Gambit. Inviting China is the ultimate Davos-style pressure play. It sends this razor-sharp message straight to Washington that says, hey, if you don't want to trade with us, that's fine. We have another partner who just happens to be the world's 2nd largest economy, and they will. But you know, the most precise part of this whole playbook might be this, the governor's gambit. Instead of fighting Washington, D.C. head-on, the strategy is to just go around them, apply direct economic pressure to the specific American states that are feeling the most pain from this whole blockade.
So you have Canadian premiers making direct appeals to their counterparts, right? Their economic twins just across the border. We're talking hydropower in the east, energy and cattle in the west. Each partnership is designed to make U.S. governors ask a really simple question. Are we going to protect our own state's economy, or are we going to follow a federal policy that's actually hurting us?
And that pain, it's not some abstract idea. The whole strategy is to make it personal, to take this fight from high-level trade policy and bring it right down to the kitchen table. So for example, let's just look at the cost of the softwood lumber tariffs on a brand new home in a state like Ohio.
$11,000. That's how much these tariffs are adding to the price of a typical new house. Now when you can put a number like that in front of voters, a little hockey game suddenly starts to look like a very, very serious economic summit.
So you see, this is how a simple hockey game becomes something so much bigger. It's a whole new playbook for how a middle power can leverage its cultural, its economic, and its diplomatic strengths to really stand its ground. It's a new kind of power play.
And really, this is what it all represents. Two completely different worldviews colliding right here at this bridge. On one side, you have Fortress America, this protectionist vault, controlled by private interests and federal gridlock. And on the other, you have the global Canadian locker room, an open gateway built on public partnership and incredible cultural resilience.
And in the end, it really all comes down to this powerful, powerful statement from a youth leader of the Bikeh First Nation. It just elevates the entire conflict beyond trade and politics. It's a profound reminder that long before any bridge, before any border, there was a path. And the people who have always walked that path are the ones now declaring it open for the rest of the world. It leaves you with a pretty big question, doesn't it? Who really holds the keys to the gateway?